Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel where we talk about skincare, grooming, and sometimes hair, so that sounds like your thing. Make sure you are subscribed. Also, come and follow me on Instagram where I post a lot of stuff you're not going to see here on YouTube. It's so sunny, I'm sorry, the lighting's going to be changing very so often. Okay, so we all know why we're here. Susan Yara has her own Harper's Bazaar skincare routine video. This is like Inception-y, full circle amazingness. Like, I'm honestly so just like happy. I don't know, I feel like within the YouTube realm, when one person makes it, like we all kind of make it in a way. I just feel like it's just nice. I've had an overwhelming amount of requests to react to her video. I don't do skincare reaction videos. I leave it to Susan. I do like hack reactions, if that makes sense. But this has to be done. Like, we have to watch it. I was gonna wait and see if Hiram wanted to do this as a collab with me, but I know he's away for a month and I don't want to not watch this for a month. Like, I need to watch this. But yes, honestly, I'm so happy for Susan. Mixed makeup, just everything. This is just such an amazing achievement. And it's so nice to see someone from the YouTube community, but also with years of beauty experience off YouTube, make it onto something like Harper's Bazaar. So this is incredible. So yeah, I have to mention that obviously the thumbnail for this is complete clickbait. We all know Susan's not going to do anything wrong here for her skin, or do anything weird or disgusting or outlandish. Okay, so let's just start watching it.
Hey guys, have you ever scrolled through these videos comments and wondered who the hell is Susan Yara? It's me! And tonight I'm gonna show you my nighttime skincare routine. So let's get ready for bed.
Pajamas, I've always wanted some of those, you know, like the nice ones.
So my skin type is generally dry. It's been a little bit drier than usual. It's cold outside right now, it's winter. I also just had a baby a few months ago, so that really takes a lot out of you because, especially if you like breastfeed and everything, doing my nighttime skincare routine is
the cutest baby. Listen, I'm not into babies. When people show me pictures, I'm like, oh, okay. But honestly, the cutest baby, the cutest cheeks, so cute.
really important because it's the time that I get to myself, especially with two kids. One is a toddler, one is an actual baby. I want to make sure I'm using products that give me the most bang for my buck.
I just want to pause there. Like, I'm sorry to cut you off, Susan. I'm sorry, but that's one thing that I think for me, people like Susan on YouTube have actually kind of, oh, I should resit here, have kind of like re-established skincare as. I feel like skincare has become so serious. Like, it's great that we have so much more knowledge now and that we can follow all these amazing, educated and experienced people. But skincare needs to be nice and relaxing, and there needs to be some fun in it as well. As Susan said, like, it's her downtime. It's her time to relax and get away. It's mine as well, and I don't live as half what I imagine a stressful, busy life as Susan does. But no matter what you do, no matter who you are, taking that time to do your skincare is such a it should be such a nice, personal, relaxing experience. And I feel like people like Susan, while still educating, still kind of puts that fun back into skincare, rather than being like, you shouldn't use this, you shouldn't do that, you should only be using this, you know? So that's why I personally enjoy watching mixed makeup. And even Susan's own channel, I watch all her baby content, like I need to breast pump, do you know what I mean? Like, I just find it, whenever she speaks about anything, it's super informative.
And that are fixing problems that you have post-pregnancy. There's really not much you can do while you're pregnant. You can't do major treatments. You can't use really strong active ingredients. So these are the things that I'm reintroducing now.
When I saw when she was pregnant that she wasn't using retinol, I was like, oh, I hope she's coping. I was like, because we all know how much she loves her retinoids. She is like the queen for me of retinoids. This is why I don't talk about it, because it still confuses me so much. I do own a retinol, which I'm guessing she's going to use later, so we will probably talk about that. But for me, it is probably one of the only things that's religiously missing from my routine that I really need to jump on.
Use my scrunchie and my headband. I always go for silk. I have silk pillows. I think silk is just really nice. It's not just nice and gentle on your skin, but it's gentle on your hair. So I'm going to put this on first. Something oil-based is how I typically start my nighttime routine because I have makeup on, even if I'm just wearing sunscreen. So I tend to use something like this. These are the two balms I've been using. Green Clean by Pharmacy, and this is Clean at Zero. It's by Banilico. But today, I don't want to freak everybody out because this is something different that I've been doing.
No.
And I do it for all of you guys. I'm gonna be using this. Essentially a micellar water. It says cleansing water. It's really fancy, you guys.
I don't know why, but for like a split second, I thought she was going to bring out makeup wipes as like a joke. I don't know what was happening there. I shouldn't have ever doubted her. I panicked. I'm in panic mode. Micellar water. like, fine. Yeah, good.
It's really, really fancy. I feel like cosmetic formulators are really having a moment right now on social media where they're really like seeing what's being put out there, all the information and stuff, and they're coming correct with it, basically. They're like, no, this ingredient is fine for you. This product is fine for you. And a friend of mine who is a cosmetic formulator has been watching my videos. So she sent me this, and she didn't want me to judge it whatsoever. She said I was gonna love this stuff. I could definitely use it as my first cleanse, and it was gonna remove all of my makeup and be tough on my makeup, but not tough on my skin. And I've obviously been using a lot of it, so I can't wait to tell you guys what it is, because I don't even know. I'm gonna use one of those microfiber kind of cleansing towels just because it doesn't soak up too much. I feel like it's gonna help just remove the makeup. So I'm going to just put a little on the edge of it, and I'm gonna hold it to my eye, just for a few seconds, and then I'm just gonna gently wipe. The reason why I'm pressing it to my eye first is because you want it to loosen up the makeup, right?
I'm going to pause it there. That's one thing Susan's talking about is all these cosmetic formulators and scientists on Instagram and on YouTube now as well, actually correcting so much of the misinformation is out there. You know, the fear-mongering tactics that a lot of brands use to sell us stuff. Like, you shouldn't be using parabens, silicones are bad for you, all that kind of stuff. And I got a whole video about myth busting using some of my favorite scientist profiles. People like the EcoWell, Michelle from Lab Muffin. So interesting. Please go and watch that video, and I will link them down below anyway. But yeah, it's really super interesting. I want to know what that micellar water is, because I'm not a huge fan of micellar water, just because it always dries me out a little bit. But to kind of know that it's been created by someone of that caliber, I definitely like to try it.
The reason why I'm pressing it to my eye first is because you want it to loosen up the makeup, right? And if you're not doing that part, then you're just gonna tug, and you're gonna be like, this doesn't work on my skin because it doesn't actually remove my makeup. But if you just hold it there, it will. And so I'm just patting. You can see, no makeup. So remember, this is just my first cleanse. I'm not expecting this to completely remove all of my makeup and the grime from the day. I'm just, you know, using it as my first cleanse that way my second cleanse can get the rest of it off, essentially, and get this off of my skin too, because you don't want it to sit on your skin. It's like leaving a cleanser on your skin. You wouldn't just leave your cleanser on your skin. All right, so around this time I'd probably be in the shower, and this is the cleanser I would use. It's by Crave Beauty. It's their Matcha Hemp Hydrating Cleanser. This is a very nice cleanser. It's a gel consistency. It doesn't really foam up. I don't tend to like foam cleansers. There are some nice ones out there. I think I'm just kind of old school, and when I think of foam cleansers, I think of like SLS and like really strong surfactants and stuff that are gonna strip your skin. This won't strip your skin, and it will definitely cleanse everything, so this is the next step.
So, Crave Beauty got a shout out on Harper's Bazaar as well. This is all amazing. Matcha Hemp Hydrating Cleanser, one of my favourite cleansers of all time ever. I will continue to use it for as long as I can get my hands on it and for as long as it is being made. I love it. Susan actually mentions that she doesn't much really like foaming cleansers, and I have to be honest, after using Crave Beauty, I'm not bothered by them, but I'd rather not use them, if that makes sense, just because they feel a bit unnecessary to me now. But yes, if you can get your hands on that cleanser, it is one of the best cleansers of all time ever.
I think a lot of people don't realize how important their cleanse is when it comes to their skincare. And this would normally, again, this would be a little bit more damp, so it'd be lathering up a little bit more, but you can see that it has slips, so my fingers are gliding over my skin really easily. And I'm just making sure I'm really cleansing, because everything that you had on your skin that day, you know, it's just not good to leave it there and go to sleep with it, because your skin is repairing itself at night. And I think of the nighttime routine. My friend Nina Desai, she's a board certified dermatologist, she said it perfectly to me. She was like, your nighttime routine is when you repair your skin, and your morning routine is when you protect your skin.
Yeah, I think that's such a good approach to skincare in general. I've always felt like the nighttime is about healing and soothing and just giving your skin like time to breathe and to relax like we're doing whilst we're asleep. And in the morning, a few basics and then your protection over the top. That's how I've always felt about it. How you should see it as well. I think that's why the morning routine for me is so minimal, because it is about the basics and just sheerly that protection. Whereas I do put a little bit more effort into my evening routine, because I do feel like I need to look after my skin now, and I need to like, and I guess in a way just kind of like, thank it and give it like a, you know, job well done kind of thing for lasting through the day. But yeah, I really like those pajamas. I keep thinking that I need them.
Clean skin should never be squeaky skin. All right, so while my skin is still damp, I'm gonna try to get this on there. It's by NewFace. It is their gel primer, and I'm gonna leave it open. I go through a ton of this when I'm using it, but I'm gonna start with one layer, and I'm gonna put it on almost like if it's a sleep mask. and I'm gonna go up my neck. I know I have my necklace on, guys, I'm sorry. I just don't really take it off. And I'm gonna use this. This is the new face. I've had this for almost a decade, it's not a joke. And
I love how Susan knows like all the type of comments that she might get, if that makes sense. Like people are like, who leaves their necklace on? You know, someone is bound to say that. So I know she's beaten them to it before, like with the cleansing face wash. She's like, it usually does foam up a bit more because someone's going to be like, you know, comment something about it. She's way too experienced to deal with your bullshit in this.
And it's something that I come back to. You want to have your gel primer ready to go. You can use an HA serum, like and HA stands for hyaluronic acid, but I find that this is a little bit thicker and you might get a little zing here and there if you don't have enough slip and you know, formula like between you and the device. But what this does is it's microcurrent, and microcurrent helps to tighten your skin. I couldn't use it while I was pregnant because it's one of those things that you can't use while pregnant. So I have it back. So what people don't think about with pregnancy is you're literally gaining a ton of weight. This last pregnancy, I gained 40 pounds, and I've lost in just a few months at least half of that. So I'm gonna start here, right at like the collarbone, and I'm gonna go up with it really slowly. You gotta make sure you have that slide. You don't wanna tug. Hold, and I can feel it. And so when you're losing weight, you lose that elasticity in your skin. And people think about that in their bodies, right? Like you lose all of that elasticity and your skin starts to hang. The same thing happens with your face and your neck. And as you get older, you start to really notice that again. And it's kind of like exercise. So you want to make sure that you maintain it and you keep using it because it's helping to tighten all of your muscles essentially.
I'm not speaking too much about this because I really want to watch this. And you know, I learned stuff from Susan. I'm not going to critique her routine because she obviously has her own routine down.
All right, so normally right after I've done the new face, I will go right into a moisturizer because the new face is essentially a hyaluronic acid serum, and you want to lock in that hydration that you're getting from it because it's a humectant. You don't want it to actually, you know, take out the moisture from your actual skin, so you want to lock it in, and that's what your moisturizer is going to do. This moisturizer is by Biossance. It's their squalane and omega pear cream. I've been using this for a couple of years. I go back to it. It's not fragranced, which I think is super important when you're doing especially treatments like the laser treatment and everything, and also for the next step that you guys will see, it's going to be retinol. I also just like squalane. I really do. I think it works very well on my skin. So I'm locking everything in. I tend to like wipe and then pat, so I'm not just smearing it off of my skin. And I don't really go up, but I definitely pat it. And truly, it's just so that it really goes on my skin.
This is one thing that I do as well. Whenever I do like a skincare routine on camera, I always cut me using the product, but I cut that down as well. So a lot of people say like, why aren't you doing your beard? Why aren't you doing your neck? You missed around your eyes. You're just not seeing it. I do all that, but I just cut it down. Otherwise it'll be really boring and really not nice to look at. But one thing I do is with a few things like a toner, an essence, I pat in, but with a moisturizer, you can't just stand there going, and everyone's like, do you just pat in your moisturizer? It's like, no, I actually do a wipe and a pat. Because a lot of people are like, it must take forever to tap in moisturizer. I don't do that. I do a wipe and a pat. Just like Susan.
I don't really go up, but I definitely pat it. And truly, it's just so that it really goes on my skin and I'm not wiping it off. To me, moisturizer is really important. It is a non-negotiable for me. And I know some people with like oily skin will say that they don't need to, but the oil that you produce is completely different than the moisturizer that you're gonna use. One of the big issues I find in skincare is that people aren't patient. They want to see results immediately, and they don't want to go through like the steps, like the baby steps that you're supposed to go through. And it's so important to have patience. It's actually something I had to learn. I didn't have any patience. And what we tend to find is that people will just go like balls to the wall. Like they're kind of like, I'm just gonna go with this. I'm gonna go from like 0 skincare routine to like a 12-step skincare routine, or I'm gonna introduce a really strong retinoid into my skincare routine, but I'm gonna use it every single night and not, you know, watch how my skin reacts to it. And then they end up with this irritation, their skin is breaking, it's dry, it's flaking, they're getting breakouts. You know, half the time, it's usually what we're doing to our skin that's making our skin have some kind of a bad reaction. So my biggest advice to everybody is to be patient.
I 100% agree with Susan there. I think definitely as being a YouTuber, I think I can be quite confusing the fact that I do use a ton of skincare, because now it is my job to kind of talk about skincare. YouTube is my full-time job, so it's my job to see what's out there and introduce people to new stuff. One thing I always say though is that you don't need to use all these products. Pick a product that you think might benefit you and go with that. The thing about patience, 100%, I get a lot of comments like, I've been using niacinamide for 2 weeks, I see no difference. Or even I've been using it for a month, I don't see any difference. Patience. It's going to take a while before you actually see and reap the benefits of nearly any product. There are those products that you see immediate results of, like cleansers, for example. Moisturizers, you tend to see that instant kind of boost. And that's what you need to keep in mind, is that the results are going to come. They will come, but you just need to be patient. Another thing Susan mentioned is that, yeah, like people just tend to go from nothing to everything. And that's another lot of comments I get is like, oh, James, do I need to use azelaic acid? Do I need to use niacinamide? And I'm always like, I don't know. Do you? Is that what your skin needs? And I think the best way to work out what your skin needs, what I would do personally, is start with a very basic routine of cleanser, moisturizer, sunscreen, add in a toner, see if it benefits you, give it a month, give it a couple months. If it doesn't, take it out. If it does, add something new. For me, it took maybe honestly 4 years before I worked out a routine that would work for me, ingredients that work for me, ingredients that I should avoid. And I feel like that's how I'm able to switch up my routine quite often. It's because I already know what potentially will work for me and what potentially will not work for me.
I actually have like a whole collection of different retinoids that I'm going to start introducing into my routine. This is kind of strong though, so I don't need a lot. I actually just bought a sample size because I know I'm not going to use it for too long. It's 1% retinol. It's by Drunk Elephant. It's their A Passioni retinol cream. And what I want to show you guys, this is the important part. 1% is kind of strong, and that's more than I'm probably going to end up using. So I want to show you guys this. When someone says use a pea size of your retinoid, truly, when you're just starting off, I'm only going to use this once a week for the next couple of weeks because I'm just getting back into the retinoid game. It's been over a year because I was pregnant. It felt like I was like forever pregnant, and I'm just gonna, smear it together. I'm just gonna tap it into my skin, and I'm actually going to avoid my neck because I've been getting these laser treatments. The neck is really, really a sensitive area, and you don't want to make it too sensitive. So I know that I'm still trying to get back into this, and I know I'm doing these laser treatments, and the skin is thinner in your neck area, so you don't wanna necessarily get it there. I got my moisturizer there, I got my my HA serum there, so it has some treatment and it's good to go right now. I will eventually, use a little bit of retinol there later on, but I don't need to right now. And I'm tapping around my eyes because I don't use an eye cream at night. I feel like I'm getting everything I need for my skin in this whole routine. And it doesn't have to be an elaborate routine for it to be an effective routine.
So for me, Susan is like the queen of retinol. Like, I didn't know a lot about it before I started watching her videos. I definitely didn't know that it had so many good benefits, and Susan has actually commented on a video of mine saying that one of the only things missing in my routine was a retinol. I struggle. I've got retinol, and I'm so glad Susan demonstrated that because they say use a pea-sized amount. So I'm like, boop, and I put it on my forehead. I'm like, it's all gone. So I end up adding more and potentially using more than I have to. I started too strong, so it took me a while to build up the tolerance to it. So I'm glad she demonstrated how to actually use a pea-sized amount because I struggle with that so much. If you're not Susan, I do feel like there's a different way to use retinol. For me, the most effective way that I've been doing it recently and really reaping benefits from it is to basically just turn off all the lights. You then want to get a picture of Susan on your phone, or if you can print out a picture, even better. Light a couple of candles around the picture, and then you want to get a pack of face wipes, cleansing wipes, and put that in front of the picture of Susan. You need to make sure you're directly facing a mirror, and once all your candles are lit, you need to just repeat Susan Yara, Susan Yara, Susan Yara 3 times. Then quickly open the bag of face wipes, whip out a face wipe, and then Susan will appear behind you. And that's when you can just go ahead and actually start using the retinol.
Especially celebrities, you would think that they would be on some kind of a retinoid because it's really the only proven ingredient to truly make you look like you're youthful and have bouncy skin that's like, even skin tone and everything. I actually could not wait to get back on retinol. People might ask, do I put stuff on my chest area and everything? And I actually do believe you have to bring your skincare down to like your nipples. That's basically your face, really. But, we're on camera and everything. I actually have a whole nighttime skincare routine for my body as well. But another thing people might ask is why I put the retinol after my moisturizer. I actually will let my moisturizer sink in a little bit more. And the reason why you want your moisturizer to sink in is because when you're easing into it, if your skin is still damp, it actually helps the ingredient, the active ingredient, which in this case is retinol, absorb into your skin and penetrate a little bit deeper. And so it'll work stronger. So while I'm easing into it, I don't want it to be as effective. I'm trying to essentially, I guess, dilute it and then get my skin used to it. And then eventually I'll start to pick it up and use it more. Maybe I'll put it on before my moisturizer. Maybe I won't use a moisturizer. So everything's gonna change, but this is where I'm at right now because I only stopped breastfeeding just recently. So I'm just getting back into this game. And then I always finish with some kind of a lip balm. This one is from Innisfree. It's a sleeping mask, and I just like my nighttime lip balm to be something thick because, I'm gonna go to sleep and I'm not gonna reapply it for hours, hopefully, unless I wake up because of a baby.
I hate that lip balm. But I do notice that not a lot of people finish on a lip balm on their evening routines, and it's just like the rest of your face. You need to coat it with something, otherwise they do get really, really dry. That lip balm is so thick, it's the kind of texture I would use. For me, it tasted like Play-Doh. I just didn't enjoy the taste. I use the Clavu one, which I love, which I think I got because I saw it on Mixed Makeup, maybe? I can't remember. But yeah, I feel like no one finishes on a lip balm.
You absolutely need to use your sunscreen in the morning. We don't get to see what people are doing in the morning when we see their nighttime routine. You have to use sunscreen anyway. It is probably the most important anti-aging ingredient you can use and product you can use in your entire routine is protect yourself from the sun and the UV rays, but especially if you're making your skin more sensitive by using an active. The second tip I want to say is this is my personal skincare routine. I feel like this is actually a routine that can work for most people, but remember that your skin, everything is personal. It's your skin, and you only get your own skin once, right? So you have to be careful with it. You have to make sure that this is a routine that's gonna work for you, and you probably have to experiment a little bit. So you can see my hair stayed in place like I wanted it to. That was my nighttime skincare routine, my current nighttime skincare routine. You guys can ask me any questions. I'm probably gonna be answering because that's what I do late at night in bed on my phone. I'm wondering who's gonna maybe potentially react to my skincare routine. Any takers? Anyway, good night guys, and thanks for watching.
Okay, so amazing. So happy for her. That was just so good. And I love one thing that celebrities never really mention when they do these routines is that it is their skincare routine. And I find that even just me, an average guy with too many moisturizers on YouTube, people always say I'm buying everything you talked about in this routine. It's I never want to encourage that. I just want to inspire you to maybe look at new ingredients, maybe introduce you to some new products, but I never want you to copy my whole routine. And that's why I always say why I'm using that product, what I feel the beneficial ingredients are in that product, and who can kind of benefit from it. And I'm so glad Susan mentioned that. She always mentions it anyway, but that's her routine, that's her skin. Yours is probably going to want something different, but like she said, that's a pretty good basic routine that a lot of people can benefit from most of the products in that. But yeah, I'm just so happy for her. I'm so happy for her and her team at Mixed Makeup. I think that was just such a nice full circle moment. And I wonder how many people are going to react to her routine. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. It was more of a fangirling moment for me. I don't think I added any kind of beneficial information there. I'm just filming this on a whim. Obviously I didn't know this was going to happen. But that's it from me now, guys. I will see you next time.